On this day, 7 years ago, I wore this very fine white dress and went to Ikoyi registry to change my last name and commit my life to a man for a future unknown. And 2 days later, I wore plenty fine clothes to celebrate my traditional and white wedding. 7 years later, I would like to share 7 things marriage has taught me. Now, I am not here as a marriage expert. I am not here to say, oh, this is the best way or whatever. I am just here to share with you my 7 years of experience. So I don't know who needs to watch this, but I feel like this topic is very timely at this time, especially living abroad. Okay, marriage, especially to the African community, marriage in your home country is different from marriage abroad. This is why a lot of people are struggling to stay married, or they are struggling with their marriages abroad compared to when they were in Nigeria. So these 7 lessons that I'm about to share, I feel like there's someone out there that needs to hear this, and I'm hoping that you will pick these lessons and you would apply it in whichever way you can to help your marriage stay stronger in diaspora. Okay, let's get started. So the first lesson that marriage has taught me in 7 years is that it is not about marrying your friend. I don't know where we got that, but I really truly believe that this marriage of a thing is not about marrying your friend. It's about marrying your spouse. It's about marrying your husband. It's about marrying your wife. Why do I say so? Friendship crashes on a daily basis. Friendship is for a season. That's why you might be friends with someone this moment and the next moment you're not friends anymore. Friendship is not what keeps marriages. I know that's what a lot of people talk about. Marry your friend, marry your friend, marry your friend. But trust me, if you marry your friend and that person is not your husband, it is still going to crash. That friendship is not what will keep the marriage. That friendship is not what will keep the marriage. You know why I'm saying so? I wouldn't consider my husband my friend in that sense, but I'll consider him my husband because he is my husband. Like, marriage is made in heaven. Marriage is not about friendship and having things in common, because that's a lot of things. That's what you see when it has to do with friendship. Friends are usually people that they are crazy together. They have things in common and things like that. There are so many friends who got married to each other, but the marriage still crashed. Not because they weren't friends, but because they weren't married to their own partners. So instead of saying you're looking to marry your friend, I want you to look at marrying your partner. Marry your husband. You have a husband that was made for you. Find that person, marry that person. It's not about friendship. Friendship will crash. Marriage is made in heaven. The second lesson marriage has taught me in my 7 years of marriage is that you shouldn't focus on physical attributes or material attributes when you're looking for a husband, right? Instead, I want you to focus on going after someone who has in abundance the things that you lack, and who lacks the things that you have in abundance. That is truly what marriage is. That's why I'm saying it's not about friendship. Trust me. Marriage is an institution. Marriage was created by our Almighty Father. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is not about, people that are friends. No. There is a mission. There is a purpose why you are in that marriage. It's not for you to cheat and chat and gossip. You know how people say my gossip partner? That is not what marriage is about. It's not for you to have a gossip partner or a chatting partner. You want to play puzzles. This one has a hole, and this one, where this one has a hole, this one has something pointing out. And when they join together, they become one perfect point, right? That is truly what marriage is, in my opinion. That's what I feel marriage truly is. Look for someone who lacks the things that you have in abundance. That way you supply that thing the person is lacking, and that person will supply the things that you are lacking. Once this is what you're looking for and you get into it, you will automatically know that, yes, this is the person I am made for. Why? Because I have all these qualities. I have all these qualities in me because of this person. This person has all these qualities in themselves because of me. So that we can support one another. We can become the perfect match. All right, so that's one thing I have learned. And if you look at it, that's why you hear a lot of people saying, oh, the man is organized, the woman is not. And people see that as something they should fight about. But that really isn't what you should be fighting about. That is the reason why you are married. That is the reason. That's how I say. That is the reason why you are married. The third thing marriage has taught me is that in marriage, that is where you will learn selflessness. That is where you will learn forgiveness. This one, I don't need to talk too much. You will understand when you get into it. I don't need to tell you that one. You will learn it by experience. In marriage is the only institution where you will learn to forgive and forgive and forgive. In fact, that is it 99 times 9 or is it 77 times 7 times forgiveness that they're teaching about? It is in marriage you will learn that forgiveness, because you will learn to forgive over and over and over. The problem is, like I said, if we don't want to forgive or we don't want to be selfless, then marriage is not for you at all. It's better to even step out of it, because you know now that, oh, you're not a selfless person, or no, you cannot forgive. If you cannot forgive and you're not a selfless person, just stay away from marriage. This one I don't need to explain too much. You will learn it in marriage. So I'm hoping that as you're watching this, maybe you're vexing for your husband right now, or you're vexing for your wife right now. As you're watching this, calm down. Just calm down and go back to those things I said I have learned. You realize that the things you're fighting for are probably the things that this person lacks, that you have in abundance, and you were supposed to provide to make that lack not to be very significant, and to inspire that person to change and not to fight with that person. So in marriage, you will learn selflessness and you will learn forgiveness. Okay? The fourth thing that marriage has taught me is that no two marriages are alike. This one is very, very important in this Obodo Yibo. Let me tell you. No two marriages are alike. Remember what I said about qualities, attributes that you are bringing into that marriage. Now, if you see a marriage where the man handles everything, you see maybe your friend, the husband pays the mortgage, pays every single thing, and then you're using that to compare, and you're coming home and tell your husband, look at your mate is paying her mortgage, paying this, paying that. You will just suffer for nothing, because there are no two marriages alike. That is what works for them. It may not work for you based on who you are, based on the qualities you bring, based on the attributes you bring to that marriage. That's number one. Then another thing is, you can never, this advice I'm giving you, that's why the way I'm sharing this advice, just so you can see that it's a more generalized advice. Because if you understand that no two marriages are alike, then you would not take generic advice. You can't take just one advice that is working for someone else to put into your own marriage. No, make it general. If it's not general, it may not work for you. All right, no two marriages are alike. Honestly, what works for A may not work for B. Okay. Number 5 things I've learned in my 7 years of marriage is that you have to learn to leverage your spouse's strength in a way that makes their weakness insignificant. I'll give myself as an example, and I always say this about myself. I am someone who, I don't like hard work. Okay, if it's mental, if it's spiritual, if it's the mind, if it's anything else, you can get it from me. But you see things that are physically tasking, like things that are monotonous, like washing clothes, chores, just things that are physically tasking. When they were giving people, the quality they did not give me. Now, how do I leverage my strength to make this weakness very insignificant? I master the art of making money. You know why? With money, my weakness will become insignificant. Honestly, I always say this to anybody that cares to listen, that money is the solution to all my problems. Like, you know how people say money does not solve all the problems? It's because the problem they have, money cannot solve it. But the only problems I have in this life, money can solve it. With money, I would look perfect. I would be perfect with money, because all the weaknesses I have can be fixed with money. So if I leverage my strength of making money and being financially comfortable, being financially confident, you will see that the weakness will not even come up. So there will be no need, there will be no quarreling. The reason a man might be quarreling with a woman, she's not giving me food, it's because she does not have money. If she had money to order him food every single week by week, and feeding this man, you think the man will be fighting her that she does not give him food? No. So this is one example. What is the strength of your spouse? There are some spouses that are very disorganized. Okay, your partner might be disorganized and you are the organized one. Now find out what is the strength of this man. It's possible that the man's strength is that he has plenty of money, so he can provide the financial stability in the home, and you will provide the organizational stability in the home. It is that simple. That's how you leverage strength. You leverage strength in a way that makes the weakness insignificant. Because if you are the organized one, he's not the organized one, and there is a part of him that is badass and is doing that very well. You will just handle this one. Then that part that you are weak, that person will handle that, and you will notice that the weakness will not even come up again. The only reason the weakness is coming up is that you are shining light on the weakness instead of shining light on the strength. But when you shine light on the strength, the weakness will become insignificant. The weakness will not come up anymore. So that's one major lesson I learned in marriage. I learned that was my own personal lesson about myself, which I learned and I carried it into marriage. That if you can leverage your partner's strength, their weakness will become insignificant. Okay. Number 6, the sixth lesson I've learned in marriage, that it is not rosy every day. It is not rosy every day, it is not rosy. If you can learn this from day one and realize that it's not rosy, then there will be nothing like I can't take this anymore. Because that time will come where you feel like, I cannot take it anymore. But if you know that it's not rosy, no condition is permanent. That is my favorite mantra in life. No condition is permanent. You know why? When good things are happening, I know and I have that mantra that no condition is permanent. So this good thing is not permanent. Okay, and that humbles me. It teaches me humility. And when things are bad, that is the same mantra I have. No condition is permanent, and it gives me hope. So if you have that mantra in your life, you realize that this thing called marriage is not rosy every single day. Some days is good, some days is bad. But what will work for you is that knowledge that it's not all rosy, and secondly, the mantra that no condition is permanent. So when it's good, you know it's not permanent, so you stay humble. And when it's bad, you know it's not permanent, so you stay hopeful. You will never say, I can't take this anymore, because you know this thing is temporary, it's not permanent, it's going to change. And then you walk towards it, right? And my last lesson, the last lesson I've learned from 7 years of marriage is, do not deceive yourself by the posts that are made by married people out there. Do not deceive yourself. Do not ever use that to compare with yours, because your marriage might be healthier, your marriage might be doing better than them. And the reason I said it's my first day, second year, I went through that. You know that when you're watching all this, you're like, hey, look at them. Why can't I be like this? Why can't it be like this for me? Until it struck me that most people who put up this content for you to watch, they are content creators. And if there's something about content creating, it is acting. It's not a bad thing. They're not doing anything bad. They're not pretending, but they're acting. Why are they acting? Because they need to show you that part. Because that's the whole idea of the content they are putting out. It's like in Hollywood, there are some times that two people will act in a movie. These two people don't talk to each other. They don't like each other, but they will act in a movie. And in that movie, you think they're in love. That's acting. That's content creation. So do not use that content creation or that acting as a way to judge your own marriage. Do you understand? So do not use that as a way to judge your own marriage. Your job is, look at the 7 things I have mentioned, look at them, apply them to your marriage, and focus on that. Because I have noticed 2 kinds of people, and these are the 2 kinds of people that I was always judging my marriage with. Number 1, this content creation, these couples, couples that do content creation. And you think it's like that every day in their house. No. That is a movie that they just shot for like 30 minutes. And that's a 30 minutes video that you're watching and using it to judge. You don't know whether maybe after acting, you don't know whether they went back to not talking to each other. You don't know what's happening behind the scene. This is acting. The second people that made me feel bad in my marriage are coaches. This parenting coach, marriage coach. Until I realized that this thing is a job. It is their job. Just like this thing I'm doing. It's like my job, right? I am teaching you how to make money. I am telling you about money mistakes. Doesn't mean I don't make money mistakes. No, but I have to teach you this. I have to show you the good part of it. That's what I'm focusing on, right? Doesn't mean I'm not making mistakes, but I do make mistakes. So that's the whole idea of this thing called marriage, and that's why I want to share with you. And if you like this content, please share it. Who knows? Maybe there's someone out there that this is what they need. They just need to sit down and watch this and realize that, okay, it is the same everywhere. Theirs is not as bad as they are imagining it to be. Okay, so thank you for joining me to the end of this. Until I see you next time on the same marriage and parenting series that we are on. Thank you for watching. Click the subscribe button, click the share button, click the like button. Join in the conversation. Even if you're more than 7 years or less than 7 years, just drop in the comments, what has marriage taught you? Let us carry on this conversation, and let's continue to share this knowledge so that people out there might pick. They might get strength from watching this. They might just get to that point where they're like, you know what? I can relate. I'm not alone. That's the whole idea. Okay? So thank you, and see you next time. Cheers.